Good morning, students. This is our next chapter in geography for class 9th, and the title of the chapter is Climate. In the last two chapters, we have read about the landforms and the drainage of our country. Although in drainage we have covered only map points as it is suggested in revised syllabus, so we no need to go through the theoretical part of the chapter drainage. These are the two of the three basic elements of the one learns about the natural environment of any area. In this chapter, we will learn about the third. The third, that is the atmospheric condition that prevail over our country. Why do we wear woolens in December, or why it is hot and uncomfortable in the month of May, and why it rains in June, July, etc. The answer to all these questions can be found out but by studying about the climate of India. Climate refers to the sum total of weather conditions and variation over a large area for a long period of time, more than 30 years. So, when we say climate, it included a long research, more than 30 years of period of a particular area counted as a climate. And the weather, it refers to the state of the atmosphere over an area at any point of time. The elements of weather and climate are the same. There is a big difference between climate and weather. Weather is a short time limited period, and it also that the features, or you can say, although the elements of climate and weather are same, that temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind, humidity, and precipitation. You may have observed that the weather conditions fluctuate very often, even with a day, but there is some common pattern over a few weeks or months. That is, days are cool or hot, windy or calm, cloudy or bright, and wet or dry. On the basis of the generalized monthly atmospheric conditions, the year is divided into seasons, such as winter, summer, or rainy season. The world is divided into a number of climatic regions. Do you know what type of climate India has and why it is so? We will learn about it in this chapter. The climate of India is described as the monsoon type. In Asia, this type of climate is found mainly in the south and the southeast, despite an overall unity in the general pattern. There are perceptible regional variation in climatic condition within the country. Let us take two important elements, temperature and precipitation, and examine how they vary from place to place and season to season. In summer, the mercury occasionally touches 50 degrees centigrade in some parts of the Rajasthan deserts, whereas it may be around 20 degrees centigrade in Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir. On a winter night, temperature at Dras in Jammu and Kashmir may be as low as minus 45 degrees centigrade. Thiruvananthapuram, on the other hand, may have a temperature of 22 degrees centigrade. So you can see that at the same period of time, how the temperature is vary within the country. Now let us now look at a precipitation. There are variation not only in the form of types of precipitation but also in its amount and the seasonal distribution. While precipitation is mostly in the form of snowfall in the upper parts of Himalaya, it rains over the rest of the country. The annual precipitation varies from over 400 cm in Meghalaya to less than 10 cm in Ladakh and western Rajasthan. Most parts of the country receive rainfall from June to September, but some parts like the Tamil Nadu coast gets a large portion of its rain during October and November. So you can see that in Tamil Nadu there was a large portion of rain falling is to be found during the month of October and November. In general, coastal areas experiences less contrasts in temperature conditions. Seasonal contrasts are more in the interior of the country. There is decrease in rainfall generally from east to west in the northern plains. These variations have given rise to variety in lives of people in terms of the food they eat, the clothes they wear, and also the kind of houses they live in. Now, climate controls. What is climatic controls? That there are six major controls of the climate and of any place. They are latitude, altitude, pressure and wind system, distance from the sea, ocean currents and relief feature. These are the climatic, you can say, controller. That what are the climatic controllers? Yeah, controls which controls the climate. These factors are included: latitude, altitude, pressure and wind system, distance from the sea, ocean currents and relief features. Due to the curvature of the earth, the amount of solar energy received varies according to the latitude. As a result, air temperature generally decreases from the equator towards the poles. As one goes from the surface of the earth to the higher altitude, the atmosphere becomes less dense and temperature decreases. The hills are therefore cooler during the summer. The pressure and the wind system of any area depend on the latitude and altitude of the place. Pressure and wind system of any area depends on latitude and altitude of the place. Thus, it influences the temperature and rainfall pattern. The sea exerts a moderating influence on climate. As the distance from the sea increases, its moderating influence decreases and the people experience extreme weather conditions. This condition is known as continentality, that is very hot during summers and very cold during winter. Ocean currents along with the onshore winds affect the climate of the coastal areas. For example, any coastal area with warm or cold current flowing past, that will be warmed or cooled if the winds are onshore. Now, latitude. Factors affecting India's climate, and among them the first is latitude. The Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle of the country from the run of Kutch in the west to Mizoram in the east. Almost half of the country laying south to the Tropic of Cancer belongs to the tropical area. All the remaining area north of the tropic lies in the subtropic. Therefore, India's climate has characteristics of tropical as well as subtropical climates. Now, altitude. India has mountains to north which have an average height of about 6,000 meters. India also has a vast coastal area where the maximum elevation is about 30 meters. The Himalaya prevent the cold winds from Central Asia from entering the subcontinent. It is because of these mountains that this subcontinent experiences comparatively milder winters as compared to the Central Asia. Now, pressure and wind. The other climatic controller are pressure and wind. The climate and associated weather conditions in India are governed by the following atmospheric conditions. First is pressure and surface winds. Second, upper air circulation and western cyclonic disturbances and tropical cyclone. India lies in the region of northeasterly winds. These winds originate from the subtropical high pressure belt of the northern hemisphere. They blow south, get deflected to the right due to the Coriolis force and move on towards the equatorial low pressure area. Generally, these winds carry very little moisture as they originate and blow over land. Therefore, they bring little or no rain. Hence, India should have been an arid land, but it is not so. Let us see why. The pressure and wind condition over India are unique. During winter, there is a high pressure area north of the Himalaya. Cold dry winds blow from this region to the low pressure area over the oceans to the south. In summer, a low pressure area develops over interior Asia as well as over northeast western India. This causes a complete reversal of the direction of winds during summer. Air moves from the high pressure area over the southern Indian Ocean in a southeasterly direction. crosses the equator and turns right towards the low pressure area over the Indian subcontinent. These are known as the southwest monsoon winds. These winds blow over the warm ocean, gather moisture, and bring widespread rainfall over the mainland of India. The upper air circulation in this region is dominated by westerly flow. An important component of this flow is the jet stream. These jet streams are located approximately over 27 to 30 degrees centigrade north latitude. Therefore, they are known as a subtropical westerly jet stream. Over India, these jet streams blow south of the Himalayas all through the year except in summer. The western cyclonic disturbances experienced in the north and northwestern parts of the country are brought in by this westerly flow. In summer, the subtropical westerly jet streams moves north of the Himalayas with the apparent movement of the sun. An easterly jet stream called the subtropical easterly jet stream blows over peninsular India approximately over 14 degree north during the summer months. Now, the Indian monsoon. Indian climate is known as monsoon type. The climate of India is strongly influenced by the monsoon wind. The sailors who came to India in historic time were on the first to have noticed the phenomenon of the monsoon. They benefited from the reversal of the wind system as they came by sailing ships at the mercy of winds. The Arabs who had also come to India as traders named this seasonal reversal of the wind system monsoon. The monsoon are experienced in the tropical area roughly between 20 degree north and 20 degree south. To understand the mechanism of the monsoon, the following facts are important. First, the differential heating and cooling of land and water creates low pressure on the landmass of India, while the seas around experiences comparatively high pressure. The shift of the position of Intertropical Convergence Zone ITCZ in summer over the Ganga plain. This is the equatorial through normally positioned about 5 degree north of the equator. It is also known as a monsoon through during the monsoon season. Third, the pressure of the high pressure area east of Madagascar, approximately at 20 degrees south over the Indian Ocean. The intensity and position of this high pressure area affects the Indian monsoon. The Tibetan plateau gets intensely heated during summer, which results in strong vertical air currents and the formation of low pressure over the plateau at about 9 km above the sea level. The movement of the westerly jet stream to the north of the Himalayas and the presence of the tropical easterly jet stream over the Indian peninsula during summer. Now, apart from this, it has also been noticed that changes in pressure condition over the southern ocean also affect the monsoon. Normally, when the tropical eastern South Pacific Ocean experiences high pressure, the tropical eastern Indian Ocean experiences low pressure, but in certain year there is a reversal in the pressure condition and eastern Pacific has lower pressure in comparison to the eastern Indian Ocean. This periodic changes in pressure condition is known as the Southern Oscillation or SO. The difference in pressure over Tahiti Pacific Ocean and Darwin in northern Australia is computed to predict the intensity of the monsoon. If the pressure differences were negative, it would mean below average and the late monsoons. A feature connected with the SO is the El Nino phenomenon, in which a warm ocean current that flows past of the Peruvian coast in place of the cold Peruvian current every 2 to 5 years. The changes in pressure condition are connected to the El Nino, hence the phenomenon is referred to as ENSO. It means El Nino Southern Oscillations. The onset of the monsoon and withdrawal. Now we will explain that how the starting of monsoon held in India and how it come to an end. The monsoon, unlike the traders, are not steady events but are pulsating in nature, affected by different atmospheric conditions and countered by it on its way over the warm tropical seas. The duration of the monsoon is between 100 to 120 days from early June to mid September. Around the time of its arrival, the normal rainfall increases suddenly and continues constantly for several days. This is known as the burst of the monsoon and can be distinguished from the pre monsoon showers. The monsoon arrives at the southern tip of the Indian peninsula generally by the first week of June. Subsequently, it proceeds into two, the Arabian Sea branch and the Bay of Bengal branch. The Arabian Sea branch reaches Mumbai about 10 days later on approximately the 10th of June. This is a fairly advances rapidly and arrives in Assam in the first week of June. The lofty mountains causes the monsoon winds to deflect towards the west over the Ganga plains. By the mid June, the Arabian Sea branch of the monsoon arrives over Saurashtra, Kutch, and the central part of the country. The Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal branches of the monsoon merge over the northwestern part of the Ganga plains. Delhi generally receives the monsoon shower from Bay of Bengal branches by the end of the June. By the first week of July, western Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, eastern Rajasthan experiences the monsoon. By mid-July, the monsoon reaches Himachal Pradesh and the rest of the country. Now, we will study the withdrawal, how the monsoon stop. Withdrawal or retreat of the monsoon is a more gradual process. The withdrawal of the monsoon begins in the northwestern states of India by early September. By mid-October, it withdraws completely. As right now, mid-October, it withdraws completely from the northern half of the peninsula. The withdrawal from the southern half of the peninsula is fairly rapid. By early December, the monsoon has withdrawn from the rest of the country. So, when the December will start, the monsoon will come to an end from whole India.